Hello, El Paso. I'm Ricky Saillas. I'm with Martin Padilla. We're riding on the city's first cycle track. Thank you, Martin, for joining me on this ride.
Thanks for the invite, Rick.
Now, this new bike path has traffic signals and traffic lights for cyclists.
Here's what you should know to ride safely.
A cycle track is a bike lane that has a physical separation, separating the bike lane from vehicular traffic. Instead, the cycle track is the first of its kind in the city of El Paso. Now, this is a two-way cycle track, which means that you will have traffic both coming southbound and northbound. What's different about the Stanton cycle track is that both directions of travel for cyclists are located on the same side of the street. It has a yellow dashed line separating southbound and northbound travel. Cyclists must stay within their lane and only pass other cyclists when gaps allow. Signalized intersections have sensors that detect cyclists as they approach the intersection. Cyclists must stop at the stop bar in order to be detected by the sensor. Bicyclists have their own signal and should only proceed once they receive a green light in the shape of a bicycle. Vehicles and pedestrians will not be able to enter the intersection once bicyclists have a green light. In addition, while the bicyclists have a green light, all right-turn vehicular movements will be restricted. The cycle track has green markings that increase the visibility of the bike lane, as well as reinforce the presence of bicyclists in the area. Cross streets along the cycle track have signage reminding drivers to look both ways and to yield to cyclists. When using the cycle track, it is important to control your speed, especially at steep grades. The cycle track runs alongside the streetcar route. In order to avoid bicycle tires from getting stuck in the streetcar tracks, it is important for cyclists to cross the tracks at 90 degrees. Cyclists should never ride between the streetcar tracks.
That's some really good information on that video, Martin.
The most important thing is to remember to always be aware of your surroundings.
That's true. Now to some other happenings across the city. A new city service is helping job seekers and those who want to improve their career. The library has teamed up with Workforce Solutions Borderplex to create a job center aimed at helping people find employment or improve their skills. It's in the library workplace area of the main library downtown. It has computer stations and a variety of job resources as well as training options.
Workforce Solutions will provide 4 of their job counselors to work one-on-one with people seeking jobs. If you're looking for a job, you can come into the main library literacy center and we will have job counselors there to help you look for a job online.
The job center is free and open to everyone. Visit elpasolibrary.org for more info. A heads up from the Department of Public Health: on September 14th and 15th, public health employees and volunteers will be going door to door to interview residents about being prepared in case of an emergency. Questions will include things like, do you have a supply of food, water, and medications in case of a utility outage or if you are stranded inside your home? And does your family have a meeting location if you are separated during a wide-scale disaster? It's all part of the Community Assessment for Public Health Emergency Response, or CASPER. While El Paso rarely sees major events like flooding or the regional freeze a few years ago, the idea is to make sure we're ready for anything.
Under normal conditions, everybody wants to call 911, but their resources will also be overwhelmed at that time. So we want everyone to be able to be prepared up to 3 days, to take care of themselves up to 3 days.
Families who participate will receive an emergency kit. The information will be used to determine what areas of the city need the most attention and where education and outreach efforts can be focused. In other city happenings, the El Paso Zoo is highlighting its animal conservation efforts with a large kiosk near the entrance. It shows visitors how the zoo is saving animals from extinction. Not only do zookeepers tend to animals at the zoo, but they're also actively involved in several animal conservation projects year-round. The most recent helping hundreds of radiated tortoises discovered abandoned in a home in Madagascar.
Your zoo right here in El Paso is having an impact all over the world, from Mongolia to Madagascar, South America, Central America, and right here in our own region, which is really important to us too.
The zoo partners with conservation groups and organizations throughout the country and around the world. Meanwhile, this enormous mural is drawing attention to endangered species along the southwest border. Artists from El Paso, Juarez, and Portland, Oregon put together the 60-foot, 14-foot tall mural that rests on a wall on the pedestrian pathway near the ballpark. The stunning mural spotlights endangered species like the ocelot, the Mexican gray wolf, and the pincushion cactus.
People seem to be really into it. People, we explain like, oh, these are some endangered species from the borderlands, and people seem to be, interested in the idea. So yeah, it's been generally very positive.
Children from Lafayette Prep School helped paint that mural. The Center for Biological Diversity and the Museums and Cultural Affairs Department sponsored the project.
El Pasoans got the chance to meet our men and women of our police department.
Your City in 5 Media Specialist Nigel Sherman takes a look at this special one-of-a-kind community event.
Well, today we're having a big recruiting fair. We want to open up our academy to the public so they can see what we're doing here and how we train our recruits and all the things that the academy has to offer. We've got our drone flying, we've got the canine out here, we've got the SWAT mobile. It's a lot of things going on for the whole family to enjoy.
I've seen the dogs, I've seen the guns, and then I've also seen where they use the ATV to save people.
I think it's a really good program for them to have to really get the community to see what they do and kind of bridge the gap between citizens and police.
So coming out and meeting these officers one-on-one who deal with your community, I think is really great to understand what's happening and who's there for you when you need them.
So it's cool to meet an officer. It's my first time talking to one, taking a picture. I want to become a police officer when I grow up.
They can see the brighter side of the police department, the friendly side, the things that we do that really help us to have a better community in El Paso.
I think the city should do it more. That way they can involve the children and the children can see that the police officers are really on our side. And it's a great educational opportunity for children like Charles. It makes them really see more what the police do and what it's all about at the academy, opening it up. So it's an awesome opportunity.
I would encourage the community to come out and support the El Paso Police Department, and it's just fun to know them at a level where you can approach them, and they are very kind, and that's something that you wouldn't know unless you came to one of these events.
First and foremost, we want to make sure that everybody's safe, and we want to make sure that we help as much as possible. So if you see a police officer, just say hi.
Thank you, Nigel, for putting together that video.
And a big shout out to the El Paso Police Department for keeping us safe every day.
And that's going to do it for us on this edition of Your City in 5. But remember, you can stay up to date with city news by visiting epconnect.today.
We're also on social media and City TV.
Until next time, I'm Ricky Saillas.
I'm Martin Padilla.
For Your City in 5. Let's ride.